Our next case on the agenda is 25 CUP 0069. Again, it's a conditional use permit for short-term rental that is not the primary residence of the owner at 1108 Central Avenue, and Tyler is our case manager.
Tyler's not here, so I'm going to present on his behalf.
I was getting ready to say, I think somebody else is doing this.
Okay, so we have 25 CUP 0069. This is a conditional use permit to allow short-term rental of a dwelling unit that is not the primary residence of the owner. This is R6 multifamily in the traditional neighborhood form district, approximately 0.13 acres. Off-street parking is available via an existing driveway. There are 2 short-term rentals with approved conditional use permits located within 600 feet of the subject property. This is a close-up aerial image of the site. You can see the driveway there that extends all the way back, so plenty of off-street parking on site. Here's a zoning map. It's in the R6 residential pocket there, surrounded by R5 this direction, and then pocket of commercial here and some R7 multifamily to the south. This is a map that shows the 2 other short-term rentals approved by conditional use permit that are within the 600-foot buffer. So you've got one here and one here shown in red. This is a view of the subject property. This is the adjacent property to the left as you're looking at the subject property, and this is adjacent to the right. This is across Central Avenue, and then another view across Central Avenue. Staff finds that this proposal does not meet the standards of the conditional use permit. It requires relief from Land Development Code Section 4.2.63D, which states that there shall not grant a conditional use permit when there are 2 or more approved conditional use permits for short-term rental within 600 feet. The property does include sufficient on-site parking, and it is presently developed with a residential use, so it's in keeping and compatible with the residential area. So required actions are to approve or deny the conditional use permit to allow a short-term rental of a dwelling unit that is not the primary residence of the owner. If you do choose to approve, you will have to justify relief from the 600-foot separation requirement.
All right, thank you. Questions, board members, for staff? None? All right, I've got 2 speaker forms, Amanda Spalding and Roger Spalding. Are both of you going to speak?
Good afternoon, Amanda Spalding.
All right, if you raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're going to give today is the truth?
I do.
All right, give us your address, name, address, and zip code, please.
Amanda Spalding, 262 Foster Lane, Shepherdsville, Kentucky, 40165, representing Roger Spalding with Spalding Real Estate. I have exhibits to pass out I sent earlier, if I may approach.
Yeah, I guess. We don't have a.
Yeah, I'll take one. Thank you.
Did you start the clock, or is that left over?
I started it while she was speaking, but not.
Okay.
She came to pass things out. So,
All right.
Oh, thank you.
yeah. I can show that information that you sent on the screen if you would like, but it's up to you.
That's fine. Most of the things are the things you had. I was just going in the order.
But would you like me to put them on the screen?
Sure, okay, that'd be great. May I proceed?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, the issue here seems to be the 600-foot this property is located within 600 foot of 2 other short-term rentals. However, LDC 4.2.63.D1 allows relief from this regulation, and this property qualifies for the relief on all 4 grounds, 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. Exhibit 1 is the zoning map. 1A states the property is adjacent to non-residential zoning districts that allow short-term rentals by right. And as you can see from the zoning map, it is 2 doors down from C1. There's a C2, which is a speedway diagonal across the street. And it's also, there's an OR3 that is towards the back, but down the street a little ways. If also, can we show the street pictures on Exhibit 2? This gives a little bit more detail. You can see that the home in question is to the right of the picture, the black and white house. And then we have a house. Next door to the house is a parking lot for Central Beer Depot, and then the Central Beer Depot. If you go to, then you can see the Champion store and then Churchill Downs there in the distance. Exhibit 3 is the view from Taylor Boulevard to Central. So you can see to the left, that's again that Champion store. And then you can see the Speedway gas station there to the right. And looking at Exhibit 4, the 1108 is the house, black and white house, again, on the very right of the picture. You have the Beer Depot down the street, the Champion store again, the view of Churchill Downs, and then to the diagonal of, across the street, but to the diagonal is also a mortgage company in front of the house. In discussing 1B, there is a significant environmental feature or primary collector or higher classification road that separates the proposed short-term rental from other short-term rentals within the buffer area. So if we look at Exhibit 5, as you can see, 1108 is in the red, outlined in the red, and then we have the other 2 rentals there, the 19 CUP and the 24 CUP. Are the ones that were within the 600 feet. In looking at the map, you're coming out on Central Avenue, having to come out to that section of Central Avenue and Taylor Boulevard, going down the street to Taylor Boulevard. So we believe that that is a significant buffer between those 2 other 2 short-term rentals. 1C provides relief. A short-term rental property within the buffer area is located on the perimeter of the buffer area, with part of the property being located outside of the buffer area. So if you look at Exhibit 6, once again, you can see the little dot showing 1108. And then in the back of the property is the pink portion there is actually excluded from the 600 feet. So that's not in the buffer area. 1D, a neighborhood plan encourages and supports short-term rentals. This neighborhood is obviously located around Churchill Downs, which hosts the Kentucky Derby, drawing people from all over the world and the country. There is a definite need for short-term rentals in this area in support of tourism. In addition to Churchill Downs, but also to Louisville in general. Generally, the short-term rentals draw families who want a closer experience versus being separated by hotel rooms. Another issue that was within the staff report was that the short-term rental will not contribute to an over-concentration of the short-term rentals within the immediate area. If you go back to Exhibit 5, given we had approximately 150,000 people in that area last Saturday, and you're looking at the short-term rentals, this would be the 5th short-term rental on this map. So it doesn't appear that this would be an over-concentration of short-term rentals. Also, this property could also be used as a midterm rental, so it's not just short-term rentals for people coming to town for professional reasons. Inquiries that we've already had would be traveling nurses. Kentucky Kingdom has reached out to see if if the house was available for some of their performers that are coming in for the summer, and workers for Churchill Downs. Another issue that was presented in the staff report was approval if the short-term rental does not adversely impact the availability of affordable housing in the surrounding neighborhood. The home was previously owned by an investor and is now purchased by an investor. At the time that it was purchased, the property was inhabited by folks engaging in illegal drug use. Upon entry to the property, there was evidence of drug paraphernalia. The property has been gutted and renovated, security system installed with exterior cameras. We have enlisted the support of Louisville Metro Police to ensure the property continues to be secured. The renovations have included a new HVAC, new drywall, new flooring, new kitchen, 2 new bathrooms, light fixtures, privacy fence, roof repairs, and the security system, once again, that has the exterior cameras. We also have worked with Sandy Acquire with code enforcement, who was very pleased with the work that has been done on the property. In addition, Roger Spalding will be managing the property on behalf of Spalding Real Estate. He's able to react quickly as he lives approximately 20 minutes away. Tim Bays is the general contractor who will act as a backup in the event Roger Spalding is not available. Also, this is a first time short-term rental for Spalding Real Estate. However, Roger Spalding does have extensive experience in managing long-term rentals and has an established team of workers able to handle the needs that any may arise. The neighborhood meeting was held on March the 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. No one showed up. Since the neighborhood meeting, though, Mr. Spalding has been able to meet with various neighbors who have expressed their appreciation for the renovations and security of the location, including the Central Beer Depot, the mortgage company that's across the street, and the neighbors located at 1103, 1101, and 1107 Central. The property is currently listed as a midterm rental with Airbnb. Spalding Real Estate will be conducting the proper background checks for proposed renters, and he has experience with that given his experience with long-term renters. The house rules will be physically furnished on the property as well as provided ahead of time for prospective tenants. Those rules also include nighttime hours, so it's not going to not bother neighbors. Exhibit 8, there is parking for approximately 5 vehicles behind the home as well as 1 off-street parking. And Spalding Real Estate is aware of the requirement to register within 30 days if approved and will comply with that requirement. So we are requesting approval for the conditional use permit for this property. Thank you.
Thank you. Does Roger Spalding wish to speak?
I'm here mainly for questions, but
Okay. All right. Board members, questions?
Just one question. So the applicant is comfortable with conditions of approval, maximum of 10 guests at any one time for the 4 bedrooms?
Yes.
I just kind of want to clarify something for the record. 1D, nobody can meet 1D. 1D right now, when they mean a neighborhood plan, they mean a neighborhood plan that was formally adopted and made part of the comprehensive plan.
Oh, okay.
So right now there is no property within Louisville Metro that can possibly meet 1D.
Okay.
So, historically on A, adjacent to has meant next to, not within 2, but you've made a case for the 1108 possibly being covered by C, and then the board can talk about the application of B with the environmental feature, about the roadway. I'm not sure what the classification of central is, but, Right, because if they're arguing that central is, they have to make sure it fits that.
But 1A on adjacent, we've always read that to be
Next to.
literally next to.
Mhm.
Unless,
Adjacent is defined in the land development code as the properties next to, the property that directly touches the properties, including properties across the street. That's what adjacent means.
okay.
At this,
They've made a case for one of the properties with C, and then they've also talked about Central Avenue constituting that separation.
at this point, the segment of Central, it's considered and classified as a minor arterial.
Which, to be clear, would be a higher classification than primary collector, just to clarify. Yeah.
So,
The board can decide whether they want to consider B and C, but I wouldn't consider A or D
okay.
as grounds for relief. And C would really only apply to the one property, not both.
Right. If it's okay, I'm going to share that buffer map again to show specifically that for C, short-term rental property within the buffer area is located on the perimeter of the buffer area with part of the property. So that would only apply to this short-term rental. This one would still be fully within the buffer.
Right. And then when they're talking about 1B, they're really talking about Central Avenue, which is in green on that map.
So, holding that map for a moment. C says a short-term rental within the buffer area is located on the perimeter of the buffer area, with part of the property being located outside. So one of them is clearly in and the other one, it's those two red.
Right, right. So the one that C could apply to, if the board decided the facts warranted it, would be the one red that's just above the words Burton Avenue.
But the other one doesn't.
Yeah, right. C wouldn't get you relief for the other one.
So then, looking at B, if the green line is Central Avenue
Mhm.
and it's a minor arterial, which is a higher
Mhm.
classification, it separates the existing.
The board could decide whether that justifies enough of a separation to warrant relief. You don't have to, but if you're inclined to grant relief, that's how it would.
Okay,
B would get you relief for both. C will only get you relief from one. So you really need to determine B at the end of the day. Because if you only give relief from one, you still have one within 600 feet and you're still, yeah.
still stuck. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Everybody understand that? The staff report is recommending against this CUP.
I will say, if it's okay for me to make one more clarification, Madam Chair, that really jumping to these reasons for potential relief, you have to read the entirety of D because you would be offering relief from the entire section of D here. And the section of D, when you read D in its entirety, you also would have to find that it meets the qualifications, that it will not contribute to an overconcentration of short-term rentals in the immediate area and or adversely affect the affordable housing stock in the immediate area. So you would need to feel that you have a finding in the affirmative on those 2 points first before moving to the reasons for potential relief.
Okay, you're talking about 4D?
Yes.
Okay.
4D, and then the last sentence in 4D is that relief may be denied upon consideration of the other factors, and the burden is on the applicant to demonstrate that the subject short-term rental would not contribute to an overconcentration of short-term rentals in the immediate area and or adversely affect the affordable housing stock in the immediate area.
Okay. And I don't know if this question is for you or the applicant, but she mentioned it's on a medium-term rental now on Airbnb platform. Is there a definition for what that is?
We do not have a definition in the land development code. Our definitions are for short and long. A short-term rental is for a stay of up to 29 days. A long-term rental is 30 days or more.
Okay. So with Airbnb, what's their definition of a medium-term rental?
30 days or more.
30 or more?
30 to, I'm sorry,
30 to 360.
30 to 365.
So you can't stay more than a year.
Is that correct?
Okay, interesting. Because the argument that the applicant was making was travel nurses, people here for the summer, et cetera. To me, that could easily fall more than 29 days, our definition, or 30 days, their definition. It's short-term rental is obviously just probably a handful of nights.
Yes, that's how it's defined in the Land Development Code, up to 29 days. And one more piece of information that might just be helpful. We have this map on the screen, but then in the staff report, item number 3, there's a proximity map that shows that was also in the presentation that the applicant gave, that shows the conditional use permits within 600 feet, but also some nearby conditional use permits as well.
But also what?
But also some nearby conditional use permits that have been approved that don't necessarily touch the property, but may factor into your decision-making about overconcentration.
And what page of that is this?
It's on 8 of 8.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. There's more on there than what we were talking about there. I'm with you. Okay. All right. Any other questions for the applicant, or you go ahead?
One question. Was this rented out during this derby?
No, it wasn't. We had, this meeting was obviously the Monday after Derby, so we were not able to rent it.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions before we close the public hearing? Yeah, is there anyone online? I didn't ask. I had to. Okay.
Oh, this is Mr. Windsor, Earl Buddy.
They do want to speak? Are they indicating support?
Yes, and Ramsey would like to speak, I believe, in opposition. And whenever you're ready,
And if
your
you would sit
microphone.
down, we'll let Ms. Ramser speak.
Okay.
You'll come back up in rebuttal.
And
Ms.
Ramser.
Ramser,
Yes, I'm here.
can you turn your camera on?
It doesn't, this machine's not that computer, no.
Okay. All right. If you'd raise your right hand.
It's right.
Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth?
Yes.
All right. Give us your name, address, and zip code, please.
Ann Ramser, P.O. Box 14243, Louisville, Kentucky 40214. I'm familiar with this area. I deliver Meals on Wheels in the area on Monday and Tuesday mornings. Ms. Casey stated the exact reasons that I'm concerned about this property. And wait a minute, I'm going to take a drink of water. Is the fact that there seems to be a high concentration of short-term rentals already surrounding the 600-foot perimeter. And in this case, we've got 2 within the perimeter. I'll go with 1 because, yes, it doesn't cover the entirety of the other one. But in addition, there's been nothing to state how this will affect the affordability of housing. And this is one of our areas of town that does have affordable housing. And I want to point out that the applicants bought this property in November of 2024. So we're talking about 6 months ago. And the applicants could have, they may not have known, but they could have checked the rules and regulations in Louisville and learned of the issues regarding the 600-foot rural perimeter. And our Office of Planning has a very good website that shows our short-term rentals. So they knew in advance of the situation. They also state that they have spoken to their neighbors and they responded favorably, but we have nothing in writing stating that. And I think they have not met the initial thing that they need to meet. They have not shown that it will not disproportionately affect affordable housing, which we so desperately need in Louisville. And there's clearly a concentration of short-term rentals there in the area. So I'm requesting that you deny the application for this short-term rental. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that all in regards to online? Okay. All right. Ms. Spalding, you have 5 minutes for rebuttal.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to point out that even though we don't have specific writings of neighbors, there's no neighbors here opposing. I'm not sure where Ms. Ramser lives, since she gave a P.O. box for her address as opposed to an actual street address. In addition, I think it's up to this board to look at over concentration. Once again, this derby is estimated to have had 150,000 people in this area. And on the map that you're seeing on exhibit that was presented, this would make the 5th short-term rental in that area, in a dense populated area. In addition, as far as checking the rules, we are going by the rules, trying to get a permit so we can do the short-term rentals. Obviously, we can do the midterm and the long-term, but this is something that we would also like to have to be able to use short-term rentals as well. So we are following the rules.
Okay, thank you. All right, any final questions before we close the public hearing? No? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Any board member have thoughts they want to share? Or a motion to offer? Again, if you make a motion to approve, you're going to have to come up with reasons. You can't rely on the staff report. If it's to deny, you can rely on the staff report.
Well, we've talked through the findings you could make if you did want a grant relief. So we talked about that earlier, but
There's no discussion on the motion.
All right.
Okay. This member Vozos with regard to case number 25 CUP 0069, short-term rental, location 1108 Central Avenue. I move that we deny the conditional use permit to allow short-term rental of a dwelling unit that is not the primary residence of the owner, and I base that on the staff report.
Is there a second?
Question, was that a motion to approve?
To deny.
To deny, I couldn't hear it from over there.
Is there a second to the motion to deny? Can I make a motion? I mean, can I make a second? I know I can't make a
Nothing
motion.
in the bylaws that prohibits the chair from making a second.
You think it does or it doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
Does
doesn't.
not. All right, I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Jan Horton,
Yes?
Now, let's make certain we understand. The motion is to deny.
so
A
yes,
vote means deny, a no vote means,
you would have approved it.
well,
You would approve the CUP.
okay, so we all right?
Yep.
Okay.
Rodriguez? No. Vida?
No.
Bozos?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes. Okay. Conditional use
Is denied.
is denied.